Hi everyone. We are working on that second week of March, and we're to that middle day of the week. Do you remember what the middle day of the week is? There's 3 days before this day and 1, 2, 3 days after this day. It's the middle of the week. That's right, it's Wednesday. So what number would you expect to see here on this Wednesday? I would expect to see that too. Definitely 10. So let's say the date together. Today is Wednesday, March 10th, 2021. It's the middle of the week day. Wednesday is the middle of the weekday. What's after the middle of the weekday? Wednesday. That's right, Thursday, and I would expect to see after 10, 11. Good job. Do you remember how many days there are in this whole month? Do you remember what this last card says? That's right, it says 31. There are 31 days in March. All right, so I told you we were going to work on fact families this week, and we did this fact family earlier in the week, and we used the numbers 6, 4, and 10. And I told you that I could make other fact families and still use the number 10, but I need to change the first two numbers because I need something else that adds up to 10. So I'm going to erase this, since we already did 6 and 4, and let's do... How about let's pick, because I know that 7 and 3 equals 10. So let's use the numbers 7, 3, and 10 to write our fact family today. All right? So I want to find the biggest number, which is still 10. That's what my number sentence is going to equal. That's the whole amount together. All right? So I'm going to use 7 and 3 for my parts, 7 plus 3, and my whole is going to be 10. We haven't discussed part, whole, but in math it works this way. This is one part, 7 is one part, and 3 is the other part, and if you put those two parts together, then they make the whole amount of 10. So that's my first one, 7 plus 3 equals 10. Now I know I'm going to use these same 3 numbers all the way through when I write my 4 number sentences. Here's one of my pluses, and I'm going to write another plus. So what's my other plus going to be? Because it has to equal 10. That's right. I'm going to just move these two parts around, and I'm going to put 3 over here and 7 over here, and it's not going to make any difference. It's still going to equal 10. 7 plus 3 or 3 plus 7. Either way, when you're adding, is going to add up to the same amount, 10. Now, I have 2 more number sentences that I'm going to write, but they're subtraction number sentences. So I'm not going to use my parts, 3 and 7. I'm going to use my whole, the big amount, 10, because that's what I'm starting with. I'm starting with 10, and I'm going to take things away, right? So 10, my big number comes out front when I'm doing a minus. So I'm going to do 10, I'm going to take one of the parts away. I'm going to pick 3 first. I've got 10, and I take 3 away. So I have 10, and I take 3 away. 1, 2, 3. Then I've got 5, 6, 7. Should have 7 left. Is that my other part up here? Yep. Now I use the same 3 numbers, 10, 3, and 7. 10, 3, and 7. So I'm going to use 10 again because I'm going to write another minus. And this time I'm going to use the other part, 7. Then I should get, the answer would be the other part, right? I had 10, Okay? I took 7 away, 5, 6, 7. That leaves, my fingers won't all stay up. That leaves 3. That leaves my other part. Okay? All right. So, we have 2 new word family words, did and hear, this week. And I'm going to write, I think I'm going to write 3 sentences today, and I'm going to try to use my sight words. Okay? So let me see. My first sentence is, I see cookies here. 4 words. Starts with I. I'm going to start over here because I know I'm going to write 3 sentences, so I need a lot of space. So you might want to write small on your board. I. Do you remember how to spell C? We had that sight word quite some time ago. S-E-E. Leave a nice space. S-E-E. I see cookies. What does cookie start with, do you think? It starts with a C. I hear that k sound twice in cookie, but let's see what happens. So it's C-O-O, cook. I hear that k again, but it's not C this time. What other letter can make that k sound? K. You're right. Okay, cookies. I-E-S. That means more than one cookie if you've got cookies. I see cookies. Then I'm going to say here. I'm going to use my new sight word here. H-E-R-E. I see cookies here. And I'm going to put a period. And then I'm going to ask a question because maybe you just came home and you're like, oh, I see cookies here. And maybe they weren't there before. So then you might say, did you go to the store? Because maybe that's where you get cookies, at the store. Did you go to the store? Oh, I need 6 words. And it starts with my new sight word did, but I don't want to use a lowercase d on it because it's the first word in the sentence. It's still D-I-D, but it's capital D-I-D. You remember how to spell U? That's right. Y-O-U. Y-O-U spells U. Did you go? We know that one. G-O. G-O spells go. Did you go to T-O? And the, we've written that a lot. That's T-H-E. Did you go to the? Now listen to this next word. Listen to the beginning and tell me what you hear. Store. I hear st. I hear 2 sounds that blend together at the beginning of that. S and T that make that st sound. S-T-O-R. Did you go to the store? Oh, I heard my voice go up. I'm asking a question. I see cookies here. Did you go to the store? I definitely need a question mark. And then you might say this after you eat one. You might say this one word, and you might need an excited mark. Y-U-M. Anybody know what that one is? Yep. You might say, yum. All right.